Just a couple of best friends hanging out, best friends hanging out, best friends hanging out.
Yeah. Hey everyone, it's your boy Stewart. I'm sorry for starting this thing so late. I can't even really say that I've been that busy, to be honest. The most busy I've been is petting my little cat in the morning. She's super sweet. I sent you some snaps last night. I'm sure only Evan really sends more cat snaps than me at this point. But I think that this is the perfect cat age to send snaps to them. She's very sweet. In fact, I'm going to let her in right now. Hey, Presley. All right, she's not interested. Oh, there she is. She's very loving, especially in the morning. So I got to have my cat time in the morning. You know what I'm saying? There she is. How you doing, buddy? She's a very quiet cat, too, very sweet. Used to use her claws. So the first night I had her, she wanted to jump on the windowsill above my bed. So she used my face as like a launching pad and just scratched the shit out of my eye. It was very close to ripping my eye out. It was like a scratch that went through my eyebrow, over my eyelid, and to the bottom of my eye. I looked like fucking Scar from Lion King for a second. But yeah, she's a sweetie, and I wanted to share that one snap with you because she's just like minding her own business and stares at the camera, and I thought it was hilarious looking. Anyway, enough about my cat. It's just the reason why I've been so lazy in the mornings. I'm also feeling a little under the weather lately, so there's that. I went to Carmel this last weekend, so not really a ton of football for me. Amber is doing really well in her job, and I'm doing pretty well right now in my job. So we decided to take a little weekend since the record was all wrapped up and put out, and I'd been spending tons of time doing that, and we wanted to have our own little getaway. So we went to Carmel. I'm not sure if anyone's been to Carmel before. It's in the Monterey Bay, and it's like this quaint little what is it, Dutch town, is that what it is? I can never remember which folk it is, but I believe it's Dutch, and they just have killer food there. I mean, albeit it's expensive as fuck, but they have killer food, drinks. They have, a really beautiful beach. I saw a sea otter playing in the water, which was special. We saw jellyfish floating around, which was special. And I got to see my Carolina Panthers the next morning whoop that ass, which felt good after they got absolutely dismantled by the 49ers. The 49ers and then go and almost blow it against the Cardinals. It's frustrating for sure when you know that your team is better than what they do and than what they did, and then to see the 49ers suck that bad against the Cardinals. You're like, God damn it, you guys looked unbeatable when you played us, and then all of a sudden you're barely getting by against this trash team that we destroyed. We absolutely destroyed the Cardinals on the road. So a little bit of NFL math there. You guys barely beat the Cardinals. We destroyed the Cardinals. Therefore, we should beat you. But that's not what happened. You can't really do that NFL math. On Saturday night, I watched a little bit of the UFC fights, which was really cool. Kind of fucked it up, though. Biggest fight of the entire, ever since Conor McGregor fought last, I guess. And they stop it with a doctor stoppage for a cut over Nick Diaz's eye. And Nick Diaz, if you freaking sneeze on that dude, he's going to get cut because he has so much scar tissue on his face. So this was like for this fictitious BMF belt, the baddest motherfucker belt in the game. And the baddest motherfucker belt was decided by a just weak-ass doctor stoppage. So that was frustrating. They're not going to run it back. It looks like Nate Diaz might try to retire, which sucks because he's a great personality in the fight game, and it would be awesome to see him fight more, especially go into the 4th and 5th rounds and have an opportunity to use that cardio that he's famous for against Masvidal. Sure, he got pieced up bad in the first few rounds, but, I mean, he got pieced up bad against Conor McGregor in the first round. He got pieced up bad against Conor McGregor in the second fight in the first 3 rounds, and then he comes on in the fourth and fifth when the other guy starts to fade. But anyway, enough UFC. I thought it was interesting that the BMF belt was decided by a doctor stoppage, which really sucked. Now, I'm going to open up my little rant on this Cam Newton bullshit I've been hearing. It's really frustrating. Why does everyone think it's some kind of foregone conclusion that Cam Newton is going to be gone? Is he just that much of a locker room cancer that he's not welcome anymore? I would ask you, healthy, is Cam Newton a top 15 quarterback, a top 20 quarterback? Yeah, top 20 at least, right? And that's healthy. Sure, he was a dumpster fire earlier this year. He was like, he was as bad on the field as Colin is at naming his team off of the field. He was truly abysmal in the last part of last year when his shoulder clearly went to shit. And then he was abysmal in the beginning of this year too. But he's taking the entire year off. His shoulder, by all accounts, seems to be fine. It's this Lisfranc injury on his foot. So if he takes the entire year off, which it looks like, I mean, he has to, he's on IR, and he sees a specialist, gets surgery, comes back, how in the world is Allen a better quarterback than him? And then you can say, well, Stewart, they have to pay him $20 million next year, and they do not have to pay Allen that much at all. Kyle Allen is on a rookie deal. They don't have to pay him that. Well, let me tell you, I did a little bit of research here myself. There are 19 quarterbacks in the league that are paid more than Cam Newton is next year. And I guarantee you that number is going to jump up, because whoever is an unrestricted free agent is going to get signed to a deal that's probably close to around $20 million a year. And I think that's kind of the going rate for quarterbacks, you think? And in what world is a healthy Cam Newton not worth being paid as the 20th best quarterback in the league? At the very worst, you roll the dice on him, and if he doesn't work out, then maybe use him as trade bait or something. But the way I look at it, if we were trying to tank and get, a top 10 draft pick to get a better quarterback, or maybe to make that different, just pick up that difference-making player, then we would clearly move on from Cam Newton, try to pick up some younger talent, maybe on their first profession, or I guess this is our second contract, and then try to, slowly bolster the team through the lines and all that kind of shit. But we have a really, really good defense, and we have a transcendent running back who's about to break all these records, and we're going to waste all that shit by rolling with Kyle Allen, going 8-8 for the next however many years, and getting rid of Cam Newton. Now, Cam Newton, if he's healthy, this team could be a playoff team, and they could actually be, some type of threat in the playoffs. I know the Niner fans are rolling their eyes right now and all that, but it's true. They have a really good defense, and if they actually show up against the Niners, I think they'd play better, especially if they had a dynamic former MVP Cam Newton back. So let me read to you the names of the guys who are getting paid more than Cam Newton is next year. Russell Wilson makes sense. Big Ben, Rodgers, Jared Goff, Wentz, Matt Ryan, Kirk Cousins, Jacoby Brissett, Jimmy Garoppolo, Matt Stafford, Derek Carr, Drew Brees, Alex Smith, Tom Brady, Joe Flacco, Nick Foles, Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers, and then Cam Newton. Right below Cam, it's Dalton, Murray, Mayfield, Darnold, Keenum, Trubisky, Bridgewater. Now you're starting to get into these backup quarterbacks. And sure, they're not getting paid half of what he will be, but it's still just ridiculous to think that Cam Newton isn't better than a lot of those guys that I mentioned before him, and definitely better than the guys that I mentioned after him. So, my little cat's being a terror. Get out of here. So I think that's kind of just a going rate for quarterbacks. And who's an unrestricted free agent that the Panthers could use that $20 million? I mean, quarterback-wise, they're just going to roll with Kyle Allen, who's clearly just the most average quarterback. He just screams Case Keenum. Yeah, it's tough. Who's an unrestricted free agent? Let me look here. 2020. We got. It looks like Drew Brees maybe can opt out. Is that what void means? I don't know. Tom Brady maybe can opt out. We're not getting either of those guys. Newsflash. Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers, nah and nah. Case Keenum, nah. Teddy Bridgewater, Ryan Tannehill, Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, Chase Daniel, Chad Henne, Drew Stanton, Colt McCoy, A.J. McCarron, Josh McCown, Trevor Siemian, Mike Glennon, Brett Hundley, Blaine Gabbert. You guys get the point. We're clearly not going with an unrestricted free agent at quarterback. So roll the dice on Cam Newton. Doesn't make any fucking sense that you would cut him when the going rate for quarterbacks, for the top 20 quarterbacks in the league, is $20 million. So fucking do it. If he has anything left in the tank, next year would be potentially a huge year. All right, enough about Cam Newton. Now about me, baby. I'm on top for the first time in the history of the league. I know that sounds really fucking sad. We've been doing it for 9 years, I think. It's the first time I've scored, or not only the first time that I've been on the top, but I believe it's the first time that I've had the most points for in the history of the league. And I also won the money this last week. So, Pebbles, where's my money? Your boy's hungry. I'm starving. I gotta keep the lights on, Pebbles. Speaking of keeping the lights on, everyone's talking shit about snipping me from our fake entrepreneurial startup. Man, y'all are hating because I'm the only one here who's actually doing anything slightly entrepreneurial. I think that's fair to say. So maybe you should stop hating on your boy and let me be the secretary. I can plan parties outside of the work hours, Max, so that way we can all be happy. As the you knows, I'm very good at cleaning, so that coffee pot's always going to be crisp. I'm good at taking calls, sending emails, and I will aspire to be something else. And that's what every secretary needs, to aspire to be something else. All right. Anyway, back to me. I've gone from bronze to gold, whatever that means. I think it's good, though. And I'm definitely jinxing myself now that I've said all this, because, I've yet to score under 109 on the year. And that basically guarantees that I will 1,000% score under 109 in my playoff matchup. I think that would be a fun bet to take right now. If anyone wants to take that bet. And it was funny, in my notes I wrote jinx wrong, like the Pokemon. And I'm like, well, I guess that's how you know that you grew up on Pokemon, when you spell the word jinx totally incorrectly multiple times. So, the last thing I want to talk about before just getting into matchups and talking about that kind of thing is, in honor of playing Colin this week, I think it's about time we start ripping his team name again. We were all happy that he got rid of that self-pitying, plotting, unoriginal, sad, fuck me right team name. No one liked it. No one thought it was, worth it. It's not like he's the end of the year. Like, if Sean O'Malley named his team Fuck Me Right, I'd be like, oh. But Colin, in the very first game of the year, seems a little premature, don't you think, Colin? So I think we should all get together in the group meet and start brainstorming better names for Colin than Alan of Troy. Let that sink in. Alan of Troy. Tough name, Colin. So I have a few that would definitely be better. And I have 4 that I just got up in the top of my head. First of all, you could be Hooper, barely newer. You could be Cooper, barely newer. You could be the Hills Have Slies, like Joey Sly. You know, the Hills Have Slies. And my personal favorite, you could be Chubble Bath. Chubble Bath. I don't know why. Chubble Bath. I like that one. I wish I had Nick Chubb so I could be Chubble Bath. But those are just a few. Not the best. I know Cooper and Hooper barely knew. I just had to do it because they're the same. But Chubble Bath I stick behind. So everyone get on Colin on the group me if you're listening to this and rip him for having the name Alan of Troy. All right, where are we at here? I think I'm just going to get right into this week's matchup. So I'm going to start with old Alan of Troy and the Fertile Oven. This is a bye week for just about everybody, right? How many teams are on bye this week? Let me take a look. Not NFL bites, god damn it. All right. 1 sec, let me... Oh, NFL. I guess that will be one thing. I'm not very good at the internet. It might hurt my startup, potential here. Where the fuck are all the bye weeks? All right. Well, you know what? Oh, there we go. Broncos, Texans, Jaguars, Patriots, Eagles, Redskins. That's 6. I can only imagine what Bacon's team looks like right now. But I've got my entire bench is on bye, including the tight end that I picked up, which, Colin, you were right. I did think for a second that he was playing, but that's because when I picked him up, it was still showing last week, which was kind of stupid of me, but I still like him going forward. So right now, as we speak, I'm trying to pick up... Oh, shit. God damn it. Hold up. As we speak, I'm trying to pick up Gus Edwards, just in case. I'm going to do a little sex store handcuff and pick him up. See how long that lasts. Kind of scares me picking him up on a bye week where if all of a sudden any of your, oh my God, like Lamar Jackson's questionable. What? Oh, his illness? Oh, he's supposed to suit up. But still, now I can't pick up Gus the Bus. Marquise Brown? Really? Tentatively expected to play? What is this bullshit, man? Now I definitely can't pick up that dude. Because if he can't play, then... Anyway, Sterling Shepard is out, which is good. He's back in my IR spot, which is fucking so annoying, right? Anyway... Back to the matchup. I was supposed to lose by 16 to start with. Well, I closed that gap pretty quickly because Mike Williams got 2 receptions for 55 yards for a fat 6.5 on Collins' team. And my boy, Melvin Gordon, El Gordo, got 19.8. He's been trending upwards ever since he came back. 5.8, 6.3, 7.9, 10.4, 24.4, 19.8. Not quite as good as 24.4, but still pretty damn good. So I'm really happy that I made that trade. It's been really killer for me, especially getting DJ Moore too, now that Sterling Shepard's been dead. And ever since the trade, he scored 12, 12, by 6, 13. So DJ Moore has been a solid receiver for me. So it might be too early to say who won the trade because OBJ, apparently they're just going to start feeding OBJ the ball early in the game is like all the reports. It's like, what the fuck do you think was going to happen if you didn't do that? Sipping some tea on y'all. All right. So we got quarterback. We got Lamar Jackson versus Lamar Jackson White, Josh Allen. He's definitely the white version of Lamar Jackson with a worse arm and worse rushing. But he puts up numbers because he has that running back cheat code where he just runs a shit ton. Gets those rushing touchdowns. And Lamar Jackson, who put up 28 against the Patriots last week, still feel vindicated. Played Garoppolo and got 28.8, so 0.2 more than Lamar Jackson. But yeah, probably should have just stuck with Lamar. Then our running back core is where it gets dicey for me. We got Tyreek Hill versus Jones. I think Tyreek Hill probably is a little better than Jones with a, garbage. I don't even know who's throwing the ball over there. It's like Matt Schaub is throwing the ball to Julio Jones. Is that it? Tough. Matt Schaub, I remember him on the Texans. Terrible. Mike Williams clearly sucks, so I would say he's probably on the same tier as Marquise Brown. And then Amari Cooper is killing it. Questionable right now. Let's see what's up with that. A bruised knee. Okay, well, don't we all have bruised knees? I know I have a bruised knee. I was doing some leg day yesterday at the gym, and I was like, oh, my knee from all that Ultimate I used to do. Talked to Peebly about bruised knees. Yeah, come on. You're suiting up, Amari. And, Tyreek Hill against Julio Jones. I think Hill's a little better. DJ Moore against Cooper. I think Cooper's a little better for sure. A lot better, maybe. But if you really look at his numbers, other than a 35 and okay, fuck it. Yeah, he's pretty good. So, yeah, I think he probably has the edge in wide receivers. I probably have the edge in running backs. Marlon Mack, Melvin Gordon. He's got Chubble Bath. How deep is your chub? Chubby Checkers, Chubby Chase, Chubby Chaser. There's a lot of really good names you could do with that, Colin. But you went with Allen of Troy. You got Tevin Coleman, who could easily put up nothing as well as 4 touchdowns. But I think all indications show that he's getting the workload. He's getting over 10 carries and probably some receptions a game. I think Breida's back, so they're probably going to play him a little bit more. I would say 11 is probably about right for Coleman. But especially against Seattle, we'll see how that goes. I'm really looking forward to that matchup. I don't get to watch it, but I'm looking forward to it. Marlon Mack against Miami. Love it. I get my bell cow to finally fucking maybe go over 100 yards. It's been 44, 76, 89. Real tough for Marlon Mack. Plodding Mack. But all that being said, he's going against Miami. He's sure to have a big day. A big day / game. Not a big gay. Sorry. O.J. Howard, I know he's been horrible, and this is really the deficiency in our matchup, that and the flex spot. 3.6 for O.J. Howard is probably fair because that's what he's been scoring, but he hasn't been healthy all year, and he's practicing in full now, and he's playing a garbage-ass team against tight ends, Arizona. So I think he scores more than 3.6. I think he gets closer to like 7 and is his floor, and I think he could be upwards of 12 or 13. So I like O.J. Howard. Would have loved Fant better, but whatever. Latavius Murray, that's a big question. After scoring 29 and 32 before the bye, he is now going to be going back into that the role of the bench riding backup. It's tough to say. Where's Walrus? There you are. So what's the news? What's the story on Alvin? It looks like he's all good, but it also says he's comfortable in sharing the load. Insert Lord of the Rings gif. Has been operating as a scarcely used blah, 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 blah. 2-game absence. However, the Saints decided to divvy the carries and will board number 1. Da, 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 da. All right. So, nice. Timeshare, baby. That's awesome for me. So, I would say Latavius Murray is probably going to score more than that 7 he's projected. I think that especially when they start to rip Atlanta, and Atlanta goes down big, as they always do. Once Atlanta goes down big, Latavius Murray shall run the rock, carry the ring, and then he will get far more than 7 points. So I think he actually outscores Devontae Freeman this week. And so I think that projection's a little backwards. I'm shocked no one scooped up Legatron off of, because I had to put him on the scrap heap because of all this questionable bullshit, the questionable tag looming for Sterling Shepard. He was supposed to suit up, and then all of a sudden he didn't, so I was forced to shuffle things around, and then Melvin Gordon got the start for me, and he put up 24, and I would have lost without him. So thank you for that. But long story slightly less long, I had to dump Legatron into the free world, and then now he's back. So Legatron is killing it for me. Got him back. All right, let's see who we got here. And Carolina versus Indianapolis. Indianapolis against Miami. That's never good. Carolina against Green Bay. Don't love it, but they've scored 13, 14, 14, 21, blank, 5, and 11. So I feel like I got to keep them. Keep rolling with them. All right. I picked myself to win. I know I can't officially pick now because I missed the Thursday. But even before, I thought that a lot of my players are projected low. Like O.J. Howard with 3 and Latavius Murray with 7. I just don't see it. And I think he's a little high. I don't think Nick Chubb's going to put 15 up against Buffalo. I just don't. He hasn't put 15 up. Okay, well, I guess he used to do well. But now I feel like he's just not getting the regular play. So, anyway, I got myself against Allen of Troy. And then finally, maybe he can change his name. All right, I'm the Walrus. More self-pitying from Pebbles all week. Oh, my God, it's a bad stack for me and Waller. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, Derek Carr is a tough fantasy play. Anyway, I understand that you're on bye. Everyone is. But so you roll the dice. Adam Thielen being out indefinitely is tough for sure. So you're starting a bunch of guys. Lockett's had an incredible fantasy year. Hasn't dipped under 10.3 except for once against Arizona. But look at that. 18 targets against Tampa Bay. That's crazy. And he's eclipsed 12 targets 3 times this year. So Tyler Lockett was a great pick. I was definitely sleeping on him. I thought he was one of those guys where he couldn't fulfill the fantasy destiny that he had last year because he had a lot of touchdowns and just I can't remember the exact statistic, but it's he basically caught more balls than he should have because of the placement of the ball when he caught it, and some crazy shit like that. Anyway, he was a prime regression candidate, and he has not really regressed. So good for you. Golden Tate, you're reaping the benefit of my fucking concussion from Sterling Shepard, and he's been basically doing exactly what Sterling Shepard was doing before he got a concussion. 9, 11, 10, 6 targets. Such a bummer. That should be my production, damn it. Instead I have to roll out Marquise Brown every week. So Hawk and Cock has Dak, Mike Evans, who's been torching people. 41, 17, 0, 16, 37, 30. Yeah, he's just torching people now. He's eclipsed 12 targets 4 times, which is unbelievable. He already has 842 yards on the year. He's just killing it. Absolutely killing it. Galladay also killing it. 22, 26, 14 in 3 of the last 4 weeks, and then a fat 2. And Gallup, who I really like, I have him in my other league, and I think he kind of got saged with that touchdown last week. But I think he's more going to be around that 7-8 target range that he was before he got injured, and hopefully being like one of those 10 points a game guys for you. Well, James Conner is officially out, Brad. So move that guy. Why don't ya? Oh, why don't ya? But you don't really have anyone back him up. T.Y. Hilton is doubtful. That's tough. Yeah, you're in a little bit of a tough spot there, buddy. Good luck with that. I love how freaking Josh Reynolds is being started. I guess he had 8 targets or whatever, but can't say I love it. Rolling the dice, though. Austin Eckler, fake news, 11.8, garbage back. And then Waller with a disappointing 5.5. So yeah, I mean, I have the hindsight hut in my, to my benefit, but I think Hawk and Cock is going to take this one, pending the James Conner pick. So I got Hawk and Cock to hopefully take down my competition. I'm the Walrus, Andrew, and he continues that free fall from first place all the way to out of the playoffs, I hope. So, Hawk and Cock, I got you, buddy. Still rolling with Hawkinson. I love it. He's scored 4 points, 4 points, 2 points, 7 points in the last 4 weeks. But you're rolling with him. You're not even playing him this week. You're rolling with Doyle, Jack Doyle. Come on, dude. Gotta roll with Hawk and Cock. Next, we got up the New England Empire versus super shitty team. This one's a snooze fest. Somehow, could this be the end for Scott's super shitty team? Is he going to fill those bye weeks? Does he know he has a bye week? Edelman is out. This could be tough for him to overcome in the court of public opinion if he does not move around his players and fill some of these voids. Could be real tough, especially when he's got Watkins, I'm sure will plug in. And he's got Joe Mixon who can plug in. So I think he's just a matter of doing it. We'll see. When he plugs those guys in, he's going to be projected to score closer to, I guess, probably 97. So he's still supposed to lose by about 11 points. And God bless Bacon. Still doing all he can. Le'Veon Bell, questionable. I was thinking about picking up Ty Montgomery, but now I can't do any of that shit. Yeah, it looks good that he will play. But Le'Veon Bell's been somewhat of a disappointment. Since the first 2 weeks, he started off really hot, and then it's kind of been super mediocre. It's a volume-based running back at this point. But, I mean, when you have Sam seeing Ghost Darnold's, it's really tough. It's really tough. All right, Kittle, also, George Brittle, injury-prone. All right, 17, 14, 5. Best tight end in the game, according to some guy with googly eyes and a helmet on. All right. Let's see. We'll see if he plays. That is not good. They wouldn't divulge the results of Kittle's MRI. He's got things in his knees and ankle, so we'll see. Oh, that doesn't sound good at all. He's got things in his knees and ankle. If I went to the doctor's office and I said, how's my knee and ankle, doc? And he's like, well, you got things in it. I would be terrified. What's wrong with my head, doc? You got things in it. What's wrong with my chest? Is my heart okay? You got things in it. Don't love that. So, yeah, best tight end in the league. About to be best tight end in the IR. That's not looking good at all. All right. Damian Williams. All right. Let me do this for real. Cousins versus Goff. I like Cousins in this matchup. I like Diggs over Ridley. I like Adams over Brown. I like Emmanuel Sanders slightly over Watkins. That's just because Matt Moore doesn't have that big arm to put out a deep shot like Watkins needs to be successful. Le'Veon Bell versus Kenyon Drake. I like Drake against Tampa Bay. Broken Kittle versus healthy Olsen against Green Bay. I kind of like... If Kittle plays, you got to like him, but I have a suspicion that Greg Olsen could score more points. And then Tariq Cohen, who has done nothing all year, hasn't scored more than 8 points all year, or 9 points all year. Against, who's this? Which Williams? Damian Williams scored 20 last week. Huge week. I think I'm going to pick Bacon for this one, but barely. And especially if Scott doesn't change his team, then I got Bacon. All right. So I got me, Hawk and Cock, Bacon. All right. Take a little sip. My cat's in here just acting crazy. It's hilarious to me. All right. I got Ebird over Charkula. Don't even really need to look at the matchup. Who does he have? AJ Green still out. Herndon, who I like that pickup. I think he could pay dividends down the road. David Johnson's back. Oh, nice. That'll be good. Nice. There you go. You're back, baby. Juju's been terrible this year, but he's had terrible quarterback play, so can't hate it too much. Robbie Anderson. Speaking of hate, I hate Robbie Anderson. 1.5, 6.3, 4.3, and 2.1. And all of that with a 22-point game in the midst of all that. I feel like you have to go somewhere else, buddy. And Super Thighs Me won the Cream Hunt. The Cream Hunt, what's it called? Sweepstakes. Definitely have a roll. So that's good. He's not going to be pushing around drunk chicks anymore. I can't understand how he pushed down this like drunk girl and then kicked her in the butt or something. How he got like 8-game suspension, and Tyreek Hill, who's threatening his wife and young child over the phone, is getting nothing. You could even argue that Kareem Hunt was acting in self-defense, really. That chick was being very fucking aggressive. He didn't really do any damage. I mean, okay. Enough of this victim blaming. All right. So, yeah, if you look across, Mahomes is supposed to be back, which is huge for Evan, right when he's starting to ascend. He takes a dive last week, which sucks. But Mahomes is back, so I guess that means Sammy Watkins might have a little bump for Scott. So, might have to go run that one back. All right. Thomas. I really don't like your wide receivers, Evan. Demarius hasn't scored over 10 points. Robbie Anderson. And Cooper Kupp is killing it. You gotta love the guy. But he's had a few bad weeks. 3 and 8 in the last 3. So hopefully he maintains that massive target volume for you. Saquon. Ronald Jones is supposed to be getting the starting job now. So that's really good. Ronald Jones, Saquon Barkley. And then Kareem Hunt, he's supposed to have a role, so we'll see how that goes. I got Evan big time over Charkula and his little bronze self. Vance McDonald, bad. Okay, don't even need to talk about it. Boswell, Erickson. Erickson's been doing well for you, this white wide receiver on Cincinnati. That's what happens when the backup quarterback starts and all of a sudden the wide receivers on the second team that you've never heard of all of a sudden start getting some catches because that's who they're comfortable throwing to. Robert Woods has been a huge disappointment this year. I thought he was going to be the leading receiver on that team. He's not, and it's not really looking good for him. Maybe A.J. Green will be back, but I think he's driving the tank wagon for Cincinnati, and they don't see any point in bringing him back. They want to win this tank battle. All right, let's move on to Straight Jameson, my nemesis, Platinum Bill, against Peppers Pascals, which is a great team name, Weaver. Great job. All right, we got Jameis, who's all of a sudden super entertaining to watch. Not throwing interceptions really more. God, he threw 5 picks against Carolina. I love that. Yeah, but he's been having a pretty good fantasy year, all things considered. His floor has been 7 points, and his ceiling has been 30. So, and really, he's scoring above, 14 or so most of the time. Against Arizona should be a fun game for him. And then Tannehill against Kansas City. I'm rolling with Tannehill. You were talking shit on me, dude. You're like, oh, wow. When I started Garoppolo, you're like, worse than Tannehill spot start? And I'm like, come on, dude. Now you're rolling out with him? That's some bullshit. You should not be allowed to roll out with a guy that you talk super shit on someone else for starting. Anyway, you got Josh Jacobs playing a great game. That was awesome. What a fun game. Loved how the Chargers just shit on themselves in the end there after really making a huge comeback. But he's going up against Christian McCaffrey, and I think McCaffrey has a monumental game against Green Bay. I think it's going to be a crazy offensive game in Green Bay. Got Ingram against Cincinnati. He's bound to score a ton, but if they're blowing him out, I could see Gus the Bus getting a lot of carries in the second half. Hunter Hurst Henry had a nice little 11 points. Also had a slip and fall, which led to a pick six for old Phil, which sucks for Colin and the real life Los Angeles Chargers / Los Angeles Clippers soccer stadium Chargers. Devin Singletary, is he finally getting the play that he deserves? Looks like it. Oh man, that is not good for the rest of the league. Now Bill has another bell cow. Singletary, if he's really going to be getting 10 points a game, that sucks for everyone. He looks like he needed a tight end too, so he's rolling with Hollister. I'm pretty sure he wasn't the only tight end that was elevated. But he's got 17 last week, but that's touchdown dependent. I've liked Samuels. I've said it the whole time. I feel like he had the better upside than DJ Moore for the value for the ADP, and I think he's been playing really well. It feels like he has more than 3 touchdowns. I swear to God, it feels like he has more, but only 3 touchdowns on the year. But I like that play, especially against Green Bay. They've been a sieve defensively. Godwin, Williams, Keenan Allen should be a better wide receiver core than the points you got. Well, now Bill is supposed to lose against Weaver, but Samuels is going to start again, so Ingram, Samuel. This is a tough one. This is a real close one. I'm going to roll with my boy Weaver because I want Bill to lose, and I want to solidify my spot on top. I don't want to beat King Tommen, man. I don't want to be King Tommen at all. I want that long reign. All right. Last one, we got Dunn, the startup executioner himself, M. Dunn Jr., the underwear slanger against the shoe slanger. Ezekiel saw the deal. My forecast of this market is as follows. I think that you have a great QB battle here. I think Breeze kills it against Atlanta. And then I think Russell Wilson struggles against the 49ers. He might still put up a ton of points because of that garbage time shit, but I just see San Francisco getting after the Seattle quarterback, Russell Wilson. I see them just making him run for his life the entire game, which could, I guess, yield to some scramble plays that Wilson is famous for over the years. And, oh my God, my cat just scratched the shit out of my legs. Oh, you motherfucker. Oh my God, that hurt so bad. That was an asshole move, little kitty. Just straight up claws in my legs. Oh God, that hurt so bad. All right. So we have Wilson over Breeze. I think Breeze will probably be outscored by Russell just because of the scrambling and rushing. I like DK Metcalf lately over Fitzgerald, who's been borderline unplayable. He hasn't scored over 10 points since week 3. Jamison Crowder, I mean, that's the guy that Darnold needs, that little slot receiver just to get the ball out, that safety valve. Jones versus Cook, I love the matchup. They're both top 5 running backs this year, but I just see Dalvin Cook doing it better. He's been maybe the most consistent running back all year, just killing it. And, yeah, Montgomery has been resurgent, finally getting the love he deserves, I guess. 22, 21. That's really good. And I don't even know who this Ty Johnson guy is. He looks terrible. He looks like Dylan Dennis from the Fight Game. He looks terrible. God, that hair looks terrible. He looks like a pom-pom. Anyway, I think Montgomery murders the human pom-pom, T. Johnson. Kelsey, the real best tight end in the game, against Smith. I like Kelsey. Elliott against Gurley. I like Elliott. So, all right. And then Butker, barely newer. Gotta love it. And Cleveland defense against Buffalo. That's a bold strategy. I think Buffalo destroys them. Chicago against Detroit. How's it Chicago actually been doing this year? Not good. 4-6-4-4. 5-9. So really only 3 weeks above 9 points. So not really that good. I think DK Metcalf should start being projected over 7 points. He's surprisingly getting a lot of looks, and he got those 2 touchdowns in the red zone against me when we were playing. So I think he's beyond just that deep threat now. Odell Beckham Jr. should be a little resurgent because they're supposed to feed him the ball early and often, which, no shit, you should have done that for a long time. But is this the week against Buffalo's defense? It's tough to say. All this being said, I think I got Adam on this one. Ezekiel saw the deal. I think that Adam is going to win this one. Actually, is he? I changed my mind. I think Max is going to win this one. I think I'm going back on it. I forgot about the whole Dalvin Cook Montgomery against Jones Johnson. I definitely like Beckham better than Landry. I like your running backs better than Adams' running backs, and I like Metcalf better than Fitzgerald. I like Robinson less than Crowder, but I think it's kind of a toss-up. And I like Wilson better than Brees. So you know what? I got Max. My bad. I got Max. All right, so I got me, the Fertile Oven. I got Hawk and Cock, New England Empire, Super Thighs Me, Peppers Pascals, and M. Dunn Jr. And that's pretty much it for me. I'm going to go put some, what is it called? Some antiseptic fucking lotion on my leg now that it's bleeding openly because my cat decided to jump on my legs and then slipped. So, when cats slip, their claws come out, and yeah, that was just brutal. It was in the middle of the podcast too. I wonder if you guys can hear it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. This week we have a little radio show that we're doing in San Francisco, so we're going to go on that radio show and talk about a bunch of bullshit with the host and talk about our record and our favorite, some of our favorite bands and stuff like that. The podcast. Not this podcast, the other one. And, should be a good weekend. Hopefully I'll be able to catch the Panthers game in the afternoon. I think we're going to spend some time in the city just chilling and having some drinks and all that good stuff. So, this is your boy Stewart, and I'm by myself, but we're just a couple of best friends
hanging out, best friends hanging out.